Testing, testing. Testing. Alright, we're testing. I'm uploading some of my stuff to my portable hard drive. Hopefully this doesn't interfere with the video. Alright, your U.S. Department of Transportation Pipeline Hazardous Material Safety Administration Notice Funding Opportunity Supplemental Public Sector Training Grants Fiscal Year 2019. Applicants must register with Grants Gov to apply online. It's highly recommended that the applicants begin the registration process as soon as possible. To avoid delay with the application submission, additional applicants must maintain the active registration system award management sam.gov. Furthermore, applicants must register with the FedConnect, .net for the account submitting an application organization partner ID number, which can be received with the same created with the an account for the instructions on how to connect, how to use the portal, use FedNet, ready, set, go, tutorial, need help, section, FedConnect homepage, assistance, listing CFDA 2703, entered agency hazard material public sector training planning grants, PHMSA notice funding opportunity number 693 JK319 NF0009. Your program summary mission, section A, program description, purpose, statute of program, authority, background, federal award information, funding period of performance, type of award, previous award, section C, eligibility information, eligible application, cost sharing and matching, section D, application submission information request, application program package, content for application submission, done Bradstreet Universal Numbering System and System Award Management System submission dates and times, funding restrictions, section E, application review information, evaluation questions, review selection process, include ratings, guideline for the department, objective of the FAP2S, and check for the anticipated amounts, federal award dates, section F, federal award administrator information, federal award notice, administrative national policy requirements and reporting, section G, federal awarding agency contacts. Alright, program summary, federal agency name, the U.S. Department of Transportation Pipeline Hazardous Material Safety Administration, funding opportunity title, supplemental public sector training grants fiscal year 2019, announcement, initial announcement, funding opportunity 693 JK319 NF0009, CFDA number 2703, notice of funding opportunity, posted date March 26th, 2019, application due May 24th, 2019. The mission of the U.S. Department of Transportation for the ordination to have the most efficient modern transportation system in the world. That pipeline has material safety administration protecting the people, the environment by advancing safe transportation, energy, other hazards of the essential our daily life. To do with the agency establishes national policy, enforces standard, educates, conducts the research to prevent incidents, accidents, or incidents. Additional PHMSA prepare the public and first responder to reduce the consequences if the incident occurs. They accomplish the PHMSA award grants to states, tribes, territories, nonprofit organizations that assist in their mission to ensure pipelines operational safety shipments are up without incident. Section A, program description. Statement of the purpose. The pipeline has material safety administration through its competitive grant opportunity requesting application to the national nonprofit fire service organization supplemental public safety sector training grant funds. The funding of the supplemental public sector grants training grants program and the train the trainer model. The intent of the grant of the train hazmat instructors who will train public sector hazmat responders properly planned, maintain training programs essentially to ensure that the emergency responders receive the training without the grant. They'll have the ability to protect nearby person, property, and environmental from the effects, accidents, or incidents involved with the transportation has material in accordance with existing relations with the National Fire Protection stands for the competency with the respond with the accidents involved with the hazmat material. 8. Statute Program Authority, Supplemental Public Sector Training Program is authorized by the Congress and Hazardous Materials Transportation Authorization Act 1994, which is amended to 49 U.S. Standard Code 5116. A new subsection 1 concerning supplemental training grants. A3 background. Your supplemental public sector training grants intended for the further purpose of the hazardous material emergency preparedness grant program of the 5116A. The training public sector has material statute 5116A. 5116 provide the secondary transportation should subject availability fund throughout the competitive profit the bank of the Grand National Nonprofit Service Organization for purposes of training inspector conduct the material response training programs individual statutory responsibility has material accidents and incidents. The extent of the supplemental public sector training grant funds must also be to use train individuals with responsible to respond to accidents involving the hazard material as allowed within 5116(1)(6). Or Section B, Federal Award Information. B, 1, funding. The notice of the funding opportunity subject available to funds PHMSA anticipates 938,000 will be made available to support supplemental public sector grant program. The expected amount of the individual federal award organization range from 467,000 to 938,000. Period of performance. The period of performance is 12 months for the effective date of the award of each grant. Type of the award, discretionary grant award. B, for previous awards, applicant who received the previous PHMSA supplemental public sector training grant and awards may apply with the official year of the 2019 grant. Section C, eligibility information. Eligibility applicants. Fiscal year 2019 supplemental public sector training grant program is often open to national non-profit fire service organization for purpose of training. Inspector conducts hazard materials response training programs for individual statutory responsibility to respond to hazard material accident incident evidence to train individuals' response to accidents involving the hazard material allowed within 5116(1)(6). C2, cost sharing and matching. There are no cost sharing matching requirements. Section D, application submission information. Request application package. PHMSA requires applicants funding opportunity to apply electronically through the grants code. The applicants must download the application program package assisted with the funding opportunity filed with discretion of the grants code. Application package contains the required electronic form, ability to upload attachment, the budget narrative, budget justification, project narrative, insurance, and certification. Application must be submitted with the information outlined in the application guide in addition to the public sector and specific information below. D2, content for application. Application should be clear, concise, have the free of the mathematical errors lined up in the budget and budget narrative. Project narrative should have the sections clearly identified for the structure requested and notice funding opportunity. Applicants for the fiscal year 2009 supplemental public sector training grant fund shall be submitted to the electronic format grants cover according with the following outline. 2, overall section standard from the application uploaded complete with the grants cover under fiscal year 2019 supplemental public sector supplemental public sector training grant funding opportunity and attachments applicants will need to create and upload. To begin process, application must register for the grants cover. To submit the application, highly recommended application register process as soon as possible to avoid delay with the submission. Failure to comply with the prescribed application requirements described in this section will result in the application not being reviewed. Accessing grants cover. The grants cover web grants applicant for the game. Go to the manager of the grants cover. Select for the register new register user grants for the grants cover. Take up to 2 weeks to complete the additional questions how to register for the content of the grants. Gov phone number 800-518-4726 for the email with the support at GrantsGov. Carla Shepard from the also be able to help answer questions applying with the GrantsGov. The username and password specifically related to the CSG. Please contact Carla Shepard for phone number 202-366-2738 or email Carla Shepard at carla.shepard@.gov. Assessing Fed Connect applicants must register with Fed Connect at FedConnect.net and an account before the submitting application. Organization marketing partner identification number, which can be retrieved from SAM, is required to create an account with instruction how to register for the Fed account. You visit the portal with a fee for the Fed Connect Ready Set Go tutorial under the need help section. Fed Connect homepage. The other issue the question either the support Fed Connect call for the 100-899-6665. The Federal Connect Support Center is at Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Standard saving time for federal holidays. Standard form. The following forms are found with the grants for the under the fiscal year of the 2019 supplemental public sector training grants funding. The opportunity must complete with the applicant. The standard form 424 application federal assistance 424A budget information ED 80-0013 certification regarding lobbying department suspension drug-free workplace etc. Standard Title 6 non-discrimination assurances civil rights assurances. 2. Application attachment submitted. All required forms must be created with by applicant upload with the grants code under the fiscal year of the 2019 public sector training grant funding opportunity guidance for the submit. The budget narrative is listed in the following section. Project narrative, budget narrative attachment, indirect cost attachment agreement, statement claiming 10% of the D- if applicable, additional optional attachments if applicable. Application forms and templates are available. The grants cover the related documents as applicable. Detail the instruction application process. Project narrative required sections. The following project narrative sections are required to facilitate the application review of the work process of the section in order to appearance of the table below. The applicant should clearly identify the section project narrative section of the application. Organization information capacity. Briefly provide the information about the organization should include your organization mission with a brief overview of the structure, organization, program leadership, and special expertise. Your organization's experience capacity to manage the federal grant program with emphasis on the experience of the management of the federal grants related to training the trainer direct delivery training and emergency responders safely, effectively respond to hazardous material transportation incidents. Contact information identify the designated program project director with include the name of the position, address with the email address, the telephone number to individuals who are responsible to coordinate with the funding activity. Additional with the identified authorized individuals accept the award grant document as well as individuals responsible for the submission of a required federal financial report. Stating the need to one describe the gap of training with instructor training individual statutory responsibility to respond to hazardous material accidents and incidents. Level the need that may be described even the quality of information, preferably based on the macro level of the national data, specifically examples of location deficiencies, hazardous response training, or combination of both. Briefly explain how the proposed activities will help address identified needs. Proposed training activities and timeline describe the proposed training activities. Supplemental public sector training include a clear timeline, forecasted dates for the projected events. The section should include the type of the training activities proposed, the location activity, planning with the training and emergency response in rural area, the time frame where the activity will take place. For the timeline should include the benchmark milestones that will assist in monitoring project success. Additional training curriculum instructor development activities should be described, include with the timeline events. Curriculum provide any training curriculum that will be the training with a detailed description of the curriculum. If the curriculum will be developed during the grant period with the performance provide the detailed described curriculum that will be developed. Project output and objective to provide with the quantum measurable output, plan of the grant period performance, output with the quantum data to describe the proposed activity for delivery. Hazmat training course output should include one number, number and type of the courses, number of the projected student training for each of the course, number of the contact hours for each of the course, additional broader outcomes of the goals must be provided to describe the intent of the impact of the proposed output that can be either quantitative, the qualitative, or should reflect the projected impact of the grant activities outputs. Arcade monitoring, evaluation, training, provide explanation, monitoring, and efforts for the internal control of the quality assurance plan within the grant program. Success may include but not limited to random examinations, inspection audits of the training to maximize the cost effectiveness impact of the program. Budget narrative required section. The budget narrative completion each of the budget of the component of the support of the cost of the proposed budget narrative should focus on how each of the budget and items should require to achieve the proposed budget goals. Objectively, they also should justify how the budget covers work. Calculated budget narrative should be clearly detailed, mathematically corrected, corresponding with standard form 424A line item categories. Provide budget narrative justification object for the corresponding with the amount of the list within the standard form 424A with the amount of the need to implement the project after the proposed project narrative. The project budget they will must correspond with the cost identified with the standard form 424A with the item line item budget vice versa. Well-developed budget narrative with effective monitoring tool for the awarding agency and grant recipient. However, the budget narrative does not represent what the project needs, makes it difficult to recommend the full funding and assess the financial performance overall for the project. Description object classes of categories are provided below. Personnel costs of the employee for the salary working directly with the grant project include the number, type of the personnel, the percentage of the time dedicated to the project, hourly wage for the salary, total cost of the grant with the category limited to the only person employed by your organization. Only persons employed by your organization not employed by your agency should classify as sub-recipients. Contract should be listed in contract or other object class. Alright, only include the compensation paid employee with engaged in grant activity. Cost should be consistent with the pay with a similar type of the works within the organization. For instance, the cost of the allowance service provided by the employee compensation, additional regular salary and wages. Fringe cost of benefits paid for the employee with include the cost of employership with the FICA, the health insurance, the worker compensation, vacation, include how the fringe benefits found, they include and calculated actual fringe estimate of the proof with the range, etc. Include with the description, specific change, benefit change, charge for the project with the benefit issue percentage, additional consideration. The personal salary should have the corresponding fringe vice versa for the PHMSA fringe benefits for the position not listed in the personal section. Explain with include the benefit package with the percentage of fringe benefits only with the percentage of the time devoted to the grant project. The application must not combine with the fringe benefits to cover the extra wage for the personal category. Our travel companies travel across with the field work to travel professional media associated with the next survive for the purpose of the method of traveling, number of the persons of the travel, number of the days estimated with the cost, even for the details, even the trip not known with the time of the application submission, provided with the basic of the amount requested. Or your equipment account include the item of the tangible of the personal property have the use level of more than 1 year with the acquisition of 5 of them will cost of 5,000 more per unit unless the application have the clear with the consistent written policy determine the different threshold, include the description, quantity of the unit, and price on equipment. Purchase less than 55,000 should be lifted in supplies or other items must include the corresponding cost of the general purpose of equipment that must be justified on how it will be with the project annual level, the cost of the purchasing versus the leasing equipment, in particular with the high cost of the subject of the rapid technical advances listed, rented, leased, and equipment costs of the contract or other category depending upon the procurement method. Alright, supply of the tangible personal property other than equipment include the type of the personal and property, the general terms not necessary for the documentation of the supply of the detail, for example, reams of paper box for the paper or paper clips out for the applicants should include the quantity of the unit of the cost of larger cost of supply items such for the computer printers, contractor cost for the strip of the carried out for the individual organization of the applicant form of the procedure procurement relation for the use to able to capture the cost of the categories sub-grant contract sub-grant is awarded provided on path through any of the grantee with the recipient for a sub-recipient sub-recipient carries out of the part of the program of the grant recipient receive the federal support with the sub-recipient perform with the mention of the relationship with whether the object of the federal program were met or has responsibly a problematic decision making the responsible for the adherence of the applicable federal program requirements specified the federal law awarded in accordance with the agreement with the federal funds for the carry out of the program public purpose for the specified authorizing statute up over the providing goods and services for the benefit of the pass through any a contract legal instrument with the granting of the recipient purchase for the property service of the need the carry of the program projected program under an award the contract of their contractor provide the good service of a normal business operation and provide similar goods service the many of the different purchase of the normally operate with a competitive environment purchase provide the goods and services ancillary to the operation federal government federal program for all contractor line items cover the direction over the cover include with the contractor goods and services provide the related expense for the goods and services entering the same in the contractual services will not be considered sufficient other costs if the United Family or aforementioned categories such as the rent buildings conduct project the utility lease equipment employee training tuition and other direct costs must be itemized. Alright, indirect costs must include the indirect cost agreement with the statement of claim with the D-manius rate, but the indirect costs allowable to supplemental public sector training grant, and indirect costs are incurred for the common and joint object for the benefit of the more than one project. The applicant must include the current fully executed indirect cost rate agreement with the applicant claiming the indirect cost rate must be applied with the appropriate base for the proof of the agreement. If the rate was not approved by the public by the applicant due date with the attachment letter of the renewal letter of the request to your cognizant agent for the your application. A non-profit entity that has never received the negotiated indirect cost rates elected for the target of the D-minus rate of 10% of the amount of total direct costs, which maybe you've identified indefinitely. Applicants intended to charge the D-minus rate must include stating or verifying the organization has never received the negotiated indirect cost rate of the organization elected for the charge of the D-minus rate. Alright, match, not applicable to supplement, not applicable for supplemental sector training grant program. Alright, Duns Bradstreet Universal Numbering System Award Management. Each applicant will require 1 be registered for the family government before submitting the application. 2 provide a valid dumb number of the application. Continue with the maintain with the same registration at Duns will currently information always during the which would actively federal award application under consideration. Phmsa may not make an award application with the applicant with comply with until the applicant has complied with all the applicable unique item need to identify the same requirements if the applicant has not fully complied with requirements of the Phmsa ready to make an award. PHS may determine that the applicant did not receive qualified to receive an award. You with the determination based on the making of the award and another application. You know the PHS may recommend the application review with the SAM database ensure the DUNS number is updated with the active link for the SAM portal /public/SAM. G4 submission for the dates and time. Complete the application must be received electronically 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time of the May 24th, 2019. Application with the applicant with the grant cover the place. Contact with the grant public program off the phone number 202-366-1109. Email hmit.grants@dov.gov. Application submissions will not be considered. D5 funding restriction not less than 25% of the total training activity list for the application should be for conducting trainer courses. Phmsa funding priority with the supplemental public sector training grant is for the instruction training with a specific need of the public sector that has material responding to regions, location, fire departments, although the organization provided emergency response has material transportation accidents incidents that are lacking in that specific hazard material training. Phmsa will make the grant of the organization of the program only when the organization enter for the agreement with the Phmsa to train instruction on a preliminary basis to conduct had material response training program. The course or courses comply federal regulations and national consensus standard that has material response and being open to the public and sector has material responders. Personal costs such as overtime, backfills, stipends, fees for the shave of the local person, receive the training, entertainment, alcohol, the moral costs, any cost of this allowed, stated in the ineligible to Title 2 Code Regulations, Part 206 of the Cost of the General Office of Applied Equipment and Computer Software Printing and Copying, illicit drug lab courses. Alright, Section E, Application Review Information. Phmsa review the following evaluation criteria to determine how the application for the needs for outreach for the training, problematic evaluation of the application, expertise, the conduct of the training program for the material responders responsible for responding to the accident incident involved has materials of the application include the planning of training emergency response role area, the applicant with the capacity for the reach involved with the training program, the target of the population emergency responders, so the applicant provide the detail of the need assessment, identify the gap that the training emergency response include the micro level of the national data with the reference quantity of the quality of the information, do the proceed activities include the application address for the gaps found in the need with the assessment of the program activities include the applicant allowable necessary responsible to the applicant provide the timeline with the clearly communicates where the project activity will take place. The applicant follow the trainer to trainer model as listed as a priority of the funding announcement of the applicant list of the clear output with the goals and objectives indicate that the grants will have the projection impact with reducing risk and enhancing hazmat transportation safety is the application cost effective the responsible training costs individuals of the application outline monitoring evaluation strategy to help ensure the project will be successful. Alright, 2 technical evaluation training consistent with the National Fire Protection Association 472 and or Title 29 CFR 1910-120Q2 of the application demonstrate ability to deliver successful training of the training program with the training emergency response safely efficiently respond to hazmat transportation incidents. Alright, E2 review and selection process. The PHM must conduct an initial administrative review of each application to determine if it's complete with the meet the eligible requirements per section. See eligible information responsible requirement teams could well the representative of the hazmat emergency response stakeholder grant and management professional non-career official will review and evaluate each of the complete the application provide information of the board based on how the applicant will address the evaluation question and provide section E1 of the PHM administrator will consider how well the applicant address the key of the department to explore economic vitality at the national and regional level. You also utilize the alternative funding source for the initiative financing models to attract federal source of the infrastructure investment, economic life cycle costs of the project to promote the safety of the good repair, using an initiative approach to improve the safety, expedite the project delivery, how to that account with the performance achieving the specific manageable outcomes, identify the grant applications. Project located with the Board of Transportation for the qualified opportunity zone of the designated within Title 26 United States Code 1400Z1. Second, transportation make final award decisions. Exception for the application demonstrate the national notice of funding opportunity requirements variable to understand approach will likely result in a high quality performance. Application clearly directly exceed the requirements of the weakness for the application contains outlines outstanding feature for the main exceed the multiple dimensions of the government. The application scope aligns very well with the objective of the priority, the risk for the performance of the very low. If several applications demonstrate the national field operation notice of funding opportunity requirements or understood the approach will likely result in satisfactory performance for the application and address the unique requirements of some minor, more correctable weakness of the application demonstrate the adequacy experience, the qualification, performance, capability of the application, scope of the data, objective, the priorities, the risk of the performance is low. Marginal applications demonstrate the notice of funding opportunity requirements are mostly understood. The approach will likely result in the satisfactory performance of part of the requirement of the applicant, address some of the requirements, some of the correctable weaknesses. Applicant demonstrates some of the experience with the qualification, performance, capability of the application, scope, marginal, aligned with the data for the priorities, and risk poor performance. Unacceptable. The application does not meet notice funding opportunity requirements. The application failed to address many of the requirements of the application may be eligible to apply with the grant. The application cannot satisfy the critical requirements without major revision or rewrite of the application. Major redirection after the applicant scope that does not align with the data objective. The priority of the risk performance is high. Or your FAP2S. Prior to making the PHMS route with the review of the considering any information for the applicant designated integrity performance system accessible to the same with the current with the FAP2S for the C Title 141 United States Code 2313. An application is option made with the review of the information designated with the integrity performance system accessible with the same with the comment with the information with itself with the federal awarding agency they previously answered for the currently designated integrity of the performance system accessible with the same with the PHM. So we'll consider any comments by the applicant in addition to the other information with the designated integrity performance system making the judgment of the application integrity with the business fact record of the performance federal awards and complete with the review of the risk posed by applicants described in Title 2 CFR 200-205. Anticipated announcement of federal award dates. The application show that the funding will issue the electronic notification federal award upon notification. Application authorized official with must electronically sign an award with the time frame with the Phmsa. Phmsa plans to make awards no later than September 2019, with a proposed period performance started date of September 30, 2019. Section 5, Federal Award Administration Information. Federal award is subject to the availability of current fiscal year appropriation within the enacted budget of the Phmsa granting award. Official with the award grants the responsible eligible applicants discretion with the application for the deemed the most meritorious the honor of the procedure that set forth in the notice of funding opportunity. All application funding with the Phmsa must expand with solely with the purpose of the funds awarded and in accordance with the approved with the application of the budget relation with the term and conditions awarded. Applicable federal cost principle, Department of Financial Assistance Regulation, federal grant funds may not be used for lobbying litigation. The grant award agreement is signed with both the Phmsa agreement officer for the recipient and authorized representative of the authorized document will provide the thorough correct meaning of the authorized representative of the award document will provide the pertinent instruction and information include them in the following legal name, the address, the recipient title, practice name, the key of the person, show the direct and control the approved activity, federal award, and for identification number they signed with the Phmsa. 5 period of performance specific time, the duration, and property safety, the total amount Phmsa approved for the project, legal authorities under which the award is issued. 8 catalog of the federal domestic. 9 applicable award terms, the condition. 10 approve of the budget and the plan categorizing allocable funding to accomplish the date, the purpose of the award, other information provisions deemed necessary by the Phmsa. Administrative of the national policy requirement, administrative of the Phmsa with the recipient will be based on federal statutory regulatory requirements, authorizing language, Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 5161.1. Title CFR 200, Uniform Administrative Requirements, College Principal Audit Requirements of Federal Awards. The recipient must comply with the Title 49, Part 200, New Restriction of Lobbying, Title 49 CFR, Part 200, incorporated reference to the award isn't approved by the GPO, access of the ECFR by clicking the Title 49 CFR, Part 20. Recipients must comply with the Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, provided that no person in the United States shall, on the grounds of race, color, national origin, exclude with the participation in the damage for the benefits or be subjected to discrimination under and program and actively receiving federal financial assistance. Alright, the recipient must comply with the Title 49 CFR 1 non-discriminative federal assistance program of the Department of Transportation effectuation of the Title of the 16 Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title 49 CFR Part 21, incorporated reference to the award. Title 49 is available to GPO access.gov CFR click Title 49 CFR Part 21. Alright, the recipient must comply with the Title 49 CFR Part 32 of the government-wide requirement of the drug-free workplace, which will implement the requirements of Public Law 10690 for the Title Subpart D, Title D, drug-free workplace in 1988, and Title 49 CFR 32 incorporated reference in this award available to GPO access.gov, the CFR Title C 49 CFR Part 32. 32. F3 reporting biannual report. Each grant recipient is required to submit the biannual twice yearly federal financial report as standard form 425. Biannual performance report with the reports must allow file with the instruction data outlined with the term of the condition of the grant award performance reports included. Some of the activities output that have been taken place during the reporting period should include the minimum number of the courses delivered during the period of performance, location where the training occurred, with the number of the students trained, total contact hours of each of the class employer of the students trained, with the channel of the grantee, with the faith of the strategies implemented, and gave the challenge, and updated timeline with the grant activity projected with the take place for the remainder of the grant period of the performance as available with the impact statement of the for the instructor, public sector responders, or stakeholders regarding the impact of the current period of the performance grant activity held having had on protecting people, the environmental risk of hazardous material transportation. For your final report, each recipient is required to submit the final progress report, final federal financial report, final standard form 425 federal financial report submitted no later than 90 days after the project period end with the inbox specified in terms of the condition. Final reports must follow the instruction outlined in terms, condition, and award. Alright, your financial performance reports are submitted via the email direct for the term of the condition grant award. Some of the activities output during the period of the performance include the total number of the type of the course delivered in the period of performance, location where the training occurred, the number of the student with the training, with the total contact hours. Each class federal reports include the list of the employer who represented the student training with the projected output, so the list to approve the project name and project narrative where may not met with the explanation should be provided. The challenge grantee faced with the strategies taken to mitigate such challenges with the complete with the timeline activities took place during the complete with the period of performance available, the impact with the statement analysis of the training instruction, public sector responders, other stakeholders regarding impact term of the period of performance grant activity have the protecting people, the environment over the risk of the hazardous material transportation. All applicants' reports will be made available to the public. Section G, federal award agency contacts. Primary points: Shikuda Mireza, agreement specialist 202-366 2523, and then secondary point of contact: Dwayne Cross, agreement officer 202-366-424, Dwayne Cross at .gov. No, all questions related to the content funding opportunity and must be submitted with the Viva that mentions the center of the Fed Connect. But please do not send questions via email. Other than technical assistance questions related to Fed Connect, please email support at FedConnect at 1-800-899-6665. All right, Department of Transportation Pipeline Hazard Safety Administration has a material grant cooperative agreement terms and conditions, and then we're going to cut the tape there.